Hello, my miracles, and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Crime, episode 50, Sisters. So grab your coffee and let's talk some crime. May 1st, 1997. A father pulls into his driveway on a typical Thursday after a long day of work. Something lays in the front yard. Getting closer, he finds Katie, his eldest daughter's backpack. This started a 5-day search for not only 15-year-old Kristen Lisk, but her 12-year-old sister, Catherine Lisk. Those 5 days ended in tragedy. Months before, on September 9th, 1996, 16-year-old Sophia Silva was last seen doing her homework on her front steps of her home in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. She was also abducted, and a month later her body was found in Birchwood Creek in King George County. Sophia had been assaulted and wrapped in a white cover. Both cases remained unsolved for more than 5 years. In 2002, 15-year-old Kara Robinson from South Carolina was kidnapped from the front yard of a friend's house. She stated 38-year-old Richard Ibanez got out of his car and approached her. He pretended to offer her pamphlets. Kara told him that her friend's parents were not at home, and that is when he held a gun to her head and forced her into a plastic bin with a gag in her mouth. Richard took her to his apartment, where he assaulted her, forced her to smoke marijuana, and tied her to the bed. Thankfully, Kara found a way to escape, running out of the house and finding 2 men to take her to the police station. Kara was able to identify Richard. The police also determined that fibers from a pair of furry handcuffs Kara was forced to wear were connected to Katie and Kristen Lisk. Evidence also showed that Kristen's handprint was lifted off of Richard's car trunk. On June 27th of 2002, Richard called his sister and confided to her that he committed more crimes than he can remember. He told her to meet him at an IHOP in Jacksonville, Florida, but instead she called the police and informed them of what he said. Later that day, Richard was surrounded by law enforcement. He was urged to surrender peacefully. However, a police dog was released and Richard took his .25 caliber handgun and shot himself in the head. There remains a case that seems to have the same similarities. On July 6, 1998, Sarah Cherry was abducted while babysitting at a home in Bowdoin, Maine. Several days later, her body was found hidden in a wooded area. She had been bound with rope, assaulted, stabbed, and strangled. On March 18, 1989, Dennis DeChain was convicted of her murder. However, he maintains his innocence and continues to file for appeals. Richard worked in Portland, Maine, around the area where Sarah was abducted and murdered. A witness noticed a white Toyota Corolla near the area where Sarah's body was dumped, and at that time, Richard had access to a white Toyota Corolla. DNA recovered from Sarah's body was deemed inefficient, and it was undetermined if Richard had any connection with Sarah's murder. If you like this video, click that like button, and if you're not a miracle and want to be, click that subscribe button and watch a miracle happen. I'm Miracle Girl for Coffee and Crime. We'll see you next time.